Hey there, good people, welcome. Today I am super excited to share this video with you. If you've been following me for a while, you already know that I am so into Power Sheets. If you haven't, today you'll find out. This is what I use to plan my year. I find this to be such a good way to develop goals further, to choose a word for the year, and to create an actual action plan that you can track throughout the year to achieve your goals. So I return to this ever since I found it every year, and I use it and achieve my goals. I achieved all my goals in 2020. So I do have a focus in mind for 2021. I have run through one kind of goal process using your best year yet. I'll leave that link below. This is really going to help me narrow down exactly what goals I'm going to do in 2021. So I have my Power Sheets. I have my pouch with stickers inside. I have wild cards from this year and leftovers from previous years, and I bought new pens. I wanted to use these Papermate Inkjoy gel pens for color coding instead of trying to use the markers that I bought, that set that I bought from Cultivate What Matters. I didn't like those at all, so purchased these to use in my Power Sheets. So first things first, Laura, Casey, and the Cultivate team create these videos to help you walk through the prep work. And this year they put it in Goals School. So I'm going to walk through the prep work in several days. I do not sit down and do this all at once. I've done that before and I found that's a little overwhelming. So I break this up into several days. So today I'm going to watch the first video and we're going to get started.
Hello and welcome to the 2021 Power Sheets Prep Work video series. I'm Shanda.
So I just finished watching, or letting the first video watch me while I got everything together, and I have to say that was a long video. However, now I know I'm going to do pages 1 through 13 today, so I'm going to watch that video. It's only 5 minutes, thank God, and then we'll dig in. I was wrong. The first video was 10 minutes, but that's okay. Here we are. I am now ready to dig in. So this is my cover, the cover I chose for 2021. I chose the hot pink cover for this year. So just keeping it bright, fun, floral. I chose these pins, these particular colors, to color coordinate as I go. These are, like I said, the Papermate Inkjoy gel pins. I will leave them linked below. And then a neutral pen for just general writing is this Sharpie gel pen. It's a newer pen. This is the blue ink. I freaking love the way this writes. So, time to get started. Open it up, and like Laura said, I'm going to write my name. I kind of started and then I was like, oh wait. Fresh start, man. 2021. I hope it's better than 2020. I do intend to use these stickers. Like, as I'm doing this prep work, my goal is to use all of these stickers since I have the sticker books. All right, so I have been brainstorming like most of the last month and like unintentionally, like little goals just have been popping into my mind. So I'm going to go ahead and write what I've had down. I'm just going to use some colors. I tend to break my life into 5 sections. So financial, career, business, wellness, and relationships. So I'm just going to go ahead and write out some ideas, and I'm going to write myself a key here. So what is abundantly clear here is that I have a lot of ideas. There's just so much I want to do in the next year. I think because 2020 just got so stalled. There's just a lot of hope for what can happen in 2021 for me. And also there's just some things that need to happen. Like, I really need to play more. I need to spend more time outdoors, away from other people, just having fun. 2020 kind of sucked the joy out of that. I also need to reinvigorate my personal maintenance routine. Just everything being shut down at first, just everything stopped, right? And I haven't really picked all my usual routines back up, and I actually want to. So I just added stickers to bring emphasis to a few ideas. But like I said, I have a lot of ideas. Oh, this is important. Comparison really is the thief of joy, but this says comparison isn't just the thief of joy, it's the thief of everything. And I find that to be so true. Just I find myself sometimes comparing my life to others, and that leads to a dissatisfaction when there's nothing wrong with my life. Everybody's life has its own path, and so this just resonates with me. It's something to remember. This is interesting because what's coming up already is how much I have hope for the year ahead, how much I'm ready for life to change. It's never going to go back to the way it was in my mind, but I'm just so ready to do something different, to experience life again. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm ready to make that happen. And that's just kind of what this shows me. To live your passion means to live wholeheartedly for something worthwhile, knowing all good pursuits cost us something. That is so interesting. I never really thought about what the word suffering, like what the dictionary definition is. I just, it seems like such a place you don't want to be, suffering. But there's another aspect to suffering, right? It doesn't have to be something completely negative. It can just be that in between, when you're working towards something, knowing that there will be a cost, but it will be worthwhile. Like I said, I'm making play a priority in 2021, and this is just kind of outlining some of the things that I like to do. Spending time with people, like reading a good book. Reading is huge. And what I do in life, the content I create online really does fire me up. It gives me that drive to be innovative in my job. I can't wait to experience live arts again. I crave it. As someone who studied classical music for several years and was a professional musician, it's just, I crave live arts. I miss it so much. So this is always kind of gut-wrenching because I'm like, you think you're going well, everything is going good, but when you really take a moment to think hard about this, it can shock you. So the life evaluation is where you ask yourself how you really are. Like, this is an honest assessment. It's the trick here is to not fool yourself, to not think about others in answering this. This is about you being completely honest with yourself, using this as a safe space to answer this for yourself. You don't have to be like me and share it with the world. It's just most important that you take stock of where you are so you have a clue what you need moving forward and where you're going. These are challenges and opportunities is what they're saying here. Knowing where you are now will help you know where to cultivate in the year ahead. But I do change these categories. So I leave health, I combine friends and family. I leave finances, personal growth is the wellness for me. Recreation is play. Work is still there. I do business as one because I just have so much online content. I just create that as one. And then I do home as well. So my goal here is circle, write my thoughts on these areas. I'll use some stickers and it will help me know where to focus for 2021. So this wasn't as painful as I thought it would be. I think I'm just in a place where I'm ready to be honest with myself about all these areas of my life. I did come up with 3 areas for priority. Work and career is a big one. I have some opportunities in 2021. So I really need to focus in on work because I can elevate my career. And so I'm going to do that. Play is huge. Like, it's huge to my well-being. And in 2020, I just lost so much of play. I want to make sure I'm experiencing the world, and this is important to my self-care as well. And then financial is huge because I will be moving in 2021, and I just really want to place myself in a good financial position before I get out of here. So finances are huge. I made 3 areas of priority, but I mean, I would say that health is still an area of priority, but you can't focus on everything. And that's something I learned over the years. So I do appreciate the idea of choosing 3 to really hone in on. But really, my main focus for the year is career. And also, I love these pens. All right, last 2 pages. And I'm glad because I'm already getting a little mentally fatigued. I think I've been at this it will be for like 30 minutes. So I'm glad I'm breaking this up. So what worked this year, what didn't work this year, people I'm grateful for, and lessons I learned. And 2020 has taught so many valuable lessons. It showed me the value of connection. As an introvert, I thought I didn't need that much social interaction, but it being stripped away showed me how much I do need it. And it encourages me to engage more with the world more frequently when I don't have to, because it's needed. It is necessary. I learned that I need to play. Like, I need wellness. I need a release. It is so integral to my mental health. I just can't even express it enough. If anything, 2020 has highlighted the need for good mental health practices. 2020 also showed a hard lesson in finances. Luckily, I didn't lose my job this year, but I know many people who have, and it illustrated to me the need to have my finances in a particular place. Especially as a single woman, I can't play games, right? And so that has really been illustrated to me this year. And as a result, 2021 finances is going to be one of my top priorities. But I said all that to say that this was a good first day of prep work. It's funny because it wasn't a whole lot of pages. I only got to page 13, but it's taxing, and I spent like 30 minutes on it. So this is why I break it up into several days. So I'll see you tomorrow. So today we're gonna do page 14 to 21. I have already watched the video for today, and it's all about breaking your identity box, which can be real interesting some years. God knows what this year is going to bring. What's beautiful about this is this challenges your limiting beliefs. And I found that doing so really helps to push the mind further. This I always find hard, like breaking away from what you really believe. Like it's hard to break away from that, but it's important to push my mind. Y'all, those last 2 pages were way too personal for me to share, so I'm just gonna move on. This kind of thing is very, very personal, so we'll see. But I love this. I'm a big picture person, so I love to look into the big picture. I do wish, like, I get so much accomplished every day, but there's always so much to do, and sometimes I feel like I'm not making progress fast enough. But I try to remind myself that everything happens in its own time. That's that comparison thing. Whether I'm comparing my progress to myself or others, I just have to let life happen, especially if I'm making progress little by little. Like through Powersheets, I'm able to track and see that I am making progress. So there's that. I am always grateful to live here with my nieces and nephews and my brothers and sisters, and that I get to spend time with them like I was able to growing up. That we could provide the environment where family is a priority. So definitely time with my family. I will be grateful that I've put energy into my job. I love my career, and I feel proud of the work I do. So I will be grateful to have spent time working to be the best I can at my job. And now it's time to think about the year. Everything I've done up to this point, I've got to look at it and think about what I want 2021 to look like, and then describe it. How will I spend my time? Who will I spend it with? How will my days feel? It's all about the big picture, and I'm supposed to write and sketch out some thoughts. It's kind of like the written version of the vision for 2021. But I'm gonna go back and figure this out. And I did it. I broke my identity box, and this is where I ended up. In 2021, there's going to be a dichotomy for me. It's a balance, really. A balance between me pushing to further my career, and at the same time offsetting that with more play, more joy. So I came up with, my name is Akia, and I'm excited for the year ahead. I am capable of change, and I'm deciding that I can. The areas of my life that most need to be cultivated are work, play, and finances. In the past, I have given in to my limiting beliefs, but now I'm ready to grow into the next phase of life. My legacy starts today. When I'm 80, I want to be known as a leader, driven to help others while spreading joy. I will be known for helping to contribute to making the lives of Black children and women better. I'll start living my life vision this year, prioritizing my career while practicing total self-care wholeheartedly. I will do this little by little and with leaps of faith along the way. I want to make what matters happen because by believing in me, I can have the life I desire. My definition of success is accomplishing my vision while living a life full of joy. I will live this by saying yes to hard work, play, and community, and saying no to doubt, avoidance, and fear. I will surround myself with less unnecessary struggle and fill my life with more drive and joy. I'm ready. Let's do this. So that was kind of heavy. I know I didn't share as much as I could have, but I think the identity box work is so very personal, and I just don't necessarily want to share all of that online. But just know I have the same struggles as everyone else. Self-doubt, fear. I spent a lot of time this year working on wellness and self-care and making sure that I have the routines in place to care for myself, especially as I push myself to work harder in my career to take it to the next level, while also balancing YouTube content creation. It's just so important for me to have those wellness practices already in place and to remind myself to do them frequently so that I don't get lost in the sauce and I'm still finding joy in every day. So tomorrow we dig into goals. All right, now it's time for the really fun part of this, and that is writing my goals. I did start on page 23, and it just asks you like what you really want. Like that one thing, it's one sentence for the year. But it's time to create some goals. So what you're doing here is taking all the stuff from the last pages and writing your goals. It tells you to choose 1 to 8 yearly goals that I am most passionate about. What am I willing to sacrifice to work hard for it? What will get me closer to where I want to be in the big picture? And so this is just a space to draft goals. This is a lot, but what I'm gonna do is kind of call these together. See what can be mini goals from the big goals. See what I can prioritize. I have my 3 areas, and I'm just gonna kind of sketch that out here in writing, do some, circling and things here. So then I'm going to make my goals. I like to make the vision board before I write the goals down, because once I have a clear vision for the year, it's easy to make decisions. So like I said, I'm gonna work through this. And then I like to create my vision board on Pinterest, because I find that sometimes when I'm doing the vision board, it makes me broaden the goal, or it makes me change the goal in some way, shape, or form. And also because of how I do my vision board, it helps me come up with my word of the year as well. And then I'll create my goals and we'll move on to this. So I do my vision board on my computer. It's digital. I use Pinterest and then I print it out. Okay, so like I said, I go on my Pinterest and I go and I create a new board. And this is generally a private board. So I'm just gonna do a bunch of images and then download them to my computer. And then I put it on Adobe Creative Suite, either Illustrator or Photoshop, usually Illustrator. I can also do it in Canva though. And then I print it out. I have a little printer. So my vision board is printing. If you do this in Canva, if you choose to do it, there is a trick to doing this with your Canon Selfie. If you have a printer, you have to create like a little border in Canva, so that when you bring it into the software, let me go over here, and you go borderless, it will go all the way. It will like take up the entire print. And so then you just, pull down the sides and you have your photo. But if you choose to do it like me, you do need to account for a border if you create it in Canva. Okay, so I just use the Canon selfie app, and then I just have already downloaded the Canva photo into my photos, and then I just choose it. And like I said, I've created like a little border. This is harder to do on my on camera. And so this is it here, borderless. You can add a border and you will see what it looks like in Canva. So in Canva, I added a border. So when I put it in here, I just go borderless and it takes up the whole photo, which is exactly what I want. And then I just go to print preview and press print. And it will go to my printer here and start printing. And that is how I make my vision board that I put into the Powersheets. I'll just glue this in. I also have double-sided tape. So either way, instead of me having to cut up magazines that I don't have, I just use Pinterest and Canva, and I do pay for Canva. So I got my 2021 from the Canva options. Okay, so for aesthetic value, I actually decided to tape these in here with non-double-sided tape. So my vision board for 2021 is here. It fits every year. It fits just fine. I will say for your vision board, remember that the vision is the end result. So I'm not showing process here. I'm showing what I actually desire for 2021, what I want to happen. And I just use, like I said, Pinterest and Canva to easily put it together, because I don't have magazine subscriptions. I don't want to go buy any just for this. I know there are many ways to get the magazines and stuff, but I've been doing this, a digital vision board, since like 2017. And it's great because what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to make it a desktop background as well, since I did it in Canva. And I'm literally just going to copy and paste the photos into a desktop background, and it will just be there to remind me all year what the vision is as I go. And you can't even see the tape, so this is just an easy way to make this happen, to not stress myself out. That's always the goal, right? To not stress myself out any further than is necessary. And it's so clean and beautiful, and that appeals to me as well. What can I say? Aesthetics matter. So I've got the vision for the year. I've got this, and I'm gonna go ahead and write out the goals. I have color coordinated the pins here so that I can easily match things up. I'm gonna use my stickers from the front, but I did, like, before we started, I don't even know if I showed that. Part of waiting out was I match pins to the colors. I'm just going to use these stickers here, and I'm gonna write down my 7 goals. It's so exciting to do this moment. Okay, so my 7 goals, these are meant to be broad. I will break them down into action steps tomorrow. As you can see, I have some action steps. They are meant to just sound vague and be flexible. So take care of my body. That means losing weight, getting more into yoga and various things. Play is huge for me in 2021. I just need to do more. And so I have a 2021 and 21 bucket list that I'm going to create, or that I've already started. Be that girl. That means getting my maintenance routines back together. That all fell off in 2020. Making sure that I put effort into my appearance, making sure that I'm cultivating relationships with myself, with others, etc. That's a play off the it girl thing. Be that girl. Okay. Grow blog traffic. Self-explanatory. Enhance donor retention. So I have work goals, and I separate them. I do separate them. And so the one that I work on my own at home, I put in my Powersheets. The others I work on at work, or they may involve other people or things like that. I make sure that I do those at work, so I'm not trying to do too much work at home. So manage my money well. That means getting out of debt or paying off the rest of my debt and saving a particular amount in 2 different accounts. And then build brand awareness. I have changed up my content towards the end of this year on YouTube, and I want to focus on rebuilding my brand so that I have a new brand identity. I am putting out there what I do, basically just building my brand again. And you can see all of those goals in my vision board as well. So I'm glad I did that first. So the last thing I'm doing for the day, actually this was a multi-day process, by the way. I did this in 2 different days. So we're gonna finish up today, and I'm gonna put my word of the year. I'm gonna look up some definitions because I do have ideas. Like at first I just wanna put level up, but that's not one word. And I may still go with that because who says it has to be one word? But I'm gonna look up definitions. I was also thinking enhance, and I'll put that down, and that'll be it for today. Guys, I just deleted some stuff off my card. I wasn't thinking. All right, so I don't know where I ended, but I chose the word grind as my word of the year. After looking up the definition of enhance, I was like, this is not fitting anymore. This is not fitting what the goals I've written and things that I wrote in the prep work. And so what I do every year, usually before I do this, is I go to Ali Edwards' website, and she has a list of words, and I look through those words. It's a lot of words. And after doing so, I found some other words that I think fit my concept for the year and my goals much better. And after looking up definitions, as you can see here, I decided that grind would be my word to start. I do think that hopefully if I can achieve what I want to achieve within the first 6 months, I will change my word, and grind will give way to bloom and flourish in some way, shape, or form. But I'm starting with grind because that's what I'm gonna need to do. I'm gonna need to produce something tedious in a slow and laborious way in order to achieve my goals. And so that's what I'm going to do in the long run. And so that's my word of the year. And then the next step is action steps. And so I moved on to creating my first action plan for my first goal, which is take care of my body. And when I wrote that, and what I had in mind was losing 20 pounds, getting back into my yoga practice by going to a studio, reclaiming my good food habits. I used to be so good, and then I moved here, and my family and I eat so indulgently, but I can get that back under control. And then I want to take my meditation practice from a few times a week to daily for my mental health, right? So this is a health goal. This is very much focused on health and less of the more superficial things as my be that girl goal, which I think is also mental health, but whatever. It's the overall package, but this is specifically on health. And so my first goal in the first quarter is to lose 20 pounds. I don't want to wait to do that. I'm going to do that in the first quarter. And I haven't filled this out. I know the why is seriously important. You have to know your why because that is what will keep you going. And so I'm going to write out my why and fill this out. This is new, this section right here. And I think it's brilliant. This is a way to ensure you do SMART goals. And then I'm going to write action steps for the first quarter. And I'll do that for all 7 of my goals. And then I'll be done with my prep work. I'll come back and I'll share with you all those things before I moved on to the yearly overview. But this is like one of the most important steps in achieving my goals throughout the year. I do buy into the 12-week year concept of really going as hard as you can to achieve your goal within 90 days. And I have a larger goal, but I do love the concept of just having smaller goals for every 90 days and giving it my all. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these out, and I'll come back and kind of talk to you about anything pertinent before we move on to the last thing in my prep work. Okay, so I actually added a goal. I decided that I wanted to add this to my personal goals instead of work, and that's build and improve my professional relationships, mainly because I don't get to do a lot of outside networking like with work. It's mostly personal. I'm going to be attending events and things. So I decided to add that and make that my 8th goal. I also went ahead and set up plans for the first quarter, how I'm going to tackle my action steps. This is a lot. It says to sketch all of them out and make sure there's room for everything. But I just like to do quarter by quarter, like right before the quarter, I fill out the next ones. I kind of wish this thing was replicated within the months like the action steps are. This is how I do it. So with my goals, I was able to create action steps for all of them. And I feel like I'm getting off to a great start. I like that I don't have to create 3 mini goals like last year, because for me, this evolves quarter to quarter because I am focused on so many things, which does work for me. I know it wouldn't work for everybody, but I have a pretty consistent and well thought out productivity workflow that I'm used to doing. So this will work for me. I just have to take the time to really flush out the prep work, and then I am able to use the action steps and things I create. But this is where I'll add some wild cards. I have been kind of adding to a fun list. So I'm just gonna tape that in here. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, so a lot of it is, you know, going to the garden, going to Stone Mountain, just things that are outdoors until we can do more. So that's fun lists going there. I generally put the financial check-in in my budget planner, and I do that every quarter. So that's where that will go. This is going to be a goal for me once I move midway through the year. So I'm just gonna put this back in the pocket. That's why I love this pocket. I will also put this at the front of my life planner, because this is where I put, or my budget planner, because this is where I put non-recurring bills. I just put them on here to remind myself. I put the amount, the bill, the amount, where it's coming from, and then when I paid it. And then I will fill this out and put this here. Because I'm going to be adding meditation to my routines. I need to figure out how to add it in. So I'm not going to fill this out yet. I'm going to experiment and kind of see how that works out. I always fill this out and put this in my planner when the quarterly review comes up or the monthly reviews come up. I could just reference this in my planner. I don't have to go back. I like being able to just flip through to this in my planner. So I'll keep all of these in my planners. These are from the wild card pack, if you don't know what this is. And then I am going to write some dinner ideas, some places to go, and I'm just gonna put that right here. I'm keeping this because in this year's Power Sheets, this is at the back of the Power Sheets, and I really like it. I just fill something out each month. So I'm just gonna keep this up front to remind me to go back to it every month. And like I said, I'm gonna keep this financial check-ins in my budget planner. And then I read so many books that this is definitely not enough space. I read close to 100 books a year. So this is definitely not enough space. So what I'm gonna do is give this to my nephew actually to track his reading. He doesn't read nearly as much as me, but I think this will encourage him. And then this is where I'm going to jot down my maintenance routine for my Be That Girl goal. I'm gonna jot this down and put it right here. And then I'm just gonna keep this, just in case I have more ideas for the fun list. I'm just gonna keep this in the front. And that's why I pulled aside those particular wild cards. So that's all I'm gonna do for my prep work. I'll tell you in a moment what else is happening. I try not to do the January prep until we're closer. So I'll probably do this a couple of days before January begins. I'm still working on some things towards the end of the year. I mean, I have Vlogmas going on, and that will definitely influence the content I create. I still have blog posts going up, etc. And so I'm gonna wait to do this new stuff for the new year until a few days before January. But this is definitely filled out. I'm gonna add stickers. I'm gonna take my wild cards in. And that's pretty much all that's going to happen in the planner. But I do like to prep for the year. So one thing I like to do as the year closes is, now that I have my goals, I like to see what I can do to prepare for the year and just start the ground running. That is not how you say that phrase, but anyways, so things like, you know, be that girl. Part of that for me is going to all my doctor's appointments, right? So I like to go ahead and set up all my appointments for all the doctors, right? Gynecologist, general practitioner, dentist, optometrist. I like to set up my wax appointments, my facials, like everything I can set up. I set up for the new year so that all I have to do is go to it, right? I'm easily able to accomplish that goal. Play my 21 and 21 goal. I am going to buy tickets for the first couple of things, or just set a date for the first couple of events that I want to do. Just, you know, all the things I can do. Maybe I'm taking assessment of something. I need to count the number of books in my backlog so that that goal can be accomplished right away. I can start working that out. So I'm going to do that probably this weekend. I want to just sit with all of this for a bit before I come back to it. And that ends my Power Sheets prep. I love to do this every year. I can't say how much I value this system and how much it just jives with me and makes it easy for me to keep track of my goals and actions and everything throughout the year. So I actually accomplished what I set out to do. So because I believe in the system so much, I wanted to offer someone the opportunity to get a set of Power Sheets themselves. So I went ahead and ordered a set in a gender neutral, what I think is a gender neutral color. And so I didn't even open it. It's just the light blue color. I think it was Blue Skies color. And all the information for the giveaway will be in the description box below. I hope these can go to a home in which someone will be able to benefit from Power Sheets in the way I have. And in the meantime, in the comments, let me know one of your goals for the year, one you don't mind sharing, and what you plan to do to make it happen. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, or otherwise just leave a comment if you'd like to. I will leave a link to Power Sheets if you're interested in them and you don't have them. And until next time, be well, be safe, and find a bit of joy in every day.